What's up, everybody? This is the OG Bronknut 719 West here on this Tuesday afternoon for my Crow video after the Broncos get beat by the Kansas City Chiefs last night. Now, I want to give a shout out to all the Chiefs fans around the world, their organization, coaching staff, players. You guys played an unbelievable game, and you deserve this win that you got in Mile High yesterday, which is a hard place to win. I mean, it really is a hard place to win. And I think you can see that from, most of the game. We had the Chiefs down and had the lead in the game, and they were, they sucked it up and came back and scored 2 touchdowns within 7 minutes to give a heartbreaking loss to the Broncos. And I got to tell you, Chiefs fans, this was a tough one to swallow. It really was, because after holding a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter and seeing our defense really pretty much keep your offense and the weapons that you guys have in check for most of the game, to lose it right there at the end was a heartbreaking loss for Broncos fans. You could feel it in the stadium, and you could feel it when people were leaving. I mean, people were really upset and sad about this one. I mean, I've been through a lot of Broncos losses, but this one hurt bad because it's a game that we felt like we could have won. But, hey, you got to give it to the Chiefs, man. They made the plays when it counted. Mahomes is a good quarterback. We knew that going into it. I mean, we knew, look, we watch TV too. We see all the things that Mahomes is doing. And I thought he was a pretty good quarterback when you put him in last year. He showed some nice things. And I think, as things progress in his career, he's got a chance to really do something special in the NFL in his career for the Chiefs. Like our defense did about what I thought it was going to do. I know Mahomes wasn't going to be able to run around as much as he had against some other teams, but he did get out of the pocket and did. I mean, he's quick, and it just seemed like we were just one step from making a big play on him. I mean, he didn't have those big extensions of space that he'd created between him and defensive linemen like he had against the 49ers, and so I thought. Our defense did a well enough job to counteract what the Chiefs had such power for offense, but in the end, it just wasn't enough. Mahomes made some great plays. He threw one with his left hand for a first down when we had him dead to rights. So unbelievable play on his part on that one. Kareem Hunt had a nice night. I'm not sure how many yards he had. I haven't looked at any of the stats. I mean, half the times you don't even get to see replays in the stadium. There was a couple bad calls in the game. There's bad calls in every game. This certainly wasn't the reason why the Broncos lost this game. So anybody out there thinking that the delay of game penalty that didn't get called with the ref looking right at the clock and the ball not snapped, I mean, it was an obvious delay of game. Ref didn't pull his flag, and that doesn't mean the Chiefs weren't going to convert, but it would have made it 3rd and 12. And it makes it a whole different selection of plays, a whole different situation, a whole different personnel. And who knows what would have ended up happening. But if somehow we end up getting them to kick the field goal there, and then we've got about a minute and 40 seconds left to go and a timeout, maybe be able to get down the field and get into field goal position. I thought that we really got out-coached again in this game. I'm not ready to fire Vance Joseph yet, but I don't know whether it was him or defensive coordinator Woods we had the Chiefs 2nd and 30 down in their own end, and we're playing press coverage, and Mahomes broke out of the pocket and hit us for a 27-yard strike to get it to 3rd and 3, and they inevitably picked up that conversion and went on to score on that drive. And when you got a team 2nd and 30, it's time to play maybe a little bit of zone coverage and bring a safety blitz or something to where we can maybe let him pick up 10-15 yards and then still have him in a long position on 3rd down. But Mahomes made the plays, and I mean, he's a good little player. I thought Bowles, our left tackle, I mean, this is 2 weeks in a row that he's getting worked on that outside. I mean, there's a lot of plays where he does really nice, but there is a lot of pressure coming from the left side, and Bowles I don't think he got any holding calls, or maybe he got one. But it just shows you the difference. Last week, the reason his guy didn't sack the quarterback was because he was holding. And this week, the reason Chiefs are sacking the quarterback because Bowles wasn't holding. So he certainly got a long ways to go in his development as a football player. Also, don't think we punted very well. I don't know if Marquette King is hurt or if he just didn't punt well. But this is kind of 2 weeks in a row where are a lot different than the first couple weeks that he punted for us. We had one punt that I think he only kicked like 36 yards, and I mean that's a high school kick when it comes right down to it. So I don't know what's going on there, but we certainly gave the Chiefs benefit of some field position, and they capitalized it, and you got to give credit to the Chiefs. After watching this game, I know the Chiefs are a good team. I knew the Chiefs were going to be a good team coming into the year. There's nothing about me that thought a 5-11 team was going to come in and be an elite team in the NFL this year. But after watching this game, I honestly believe the Broncos aren't that much worse than the Chiefs are. I really don't. Because I think that defense that they have can be scored on, and I still don't think that our offense has hit its peak yet. And I don't know if it's ever gonna, but we had a chance to win the game there at the end and Case Keenum missed Demaryius Thomas wide open for the walk-off game winner, and he had 5 yards of separation and he just overthrew him. And I know a lot of you guys are probably wanting to call for Case Keenum's head, and you want to put Chad Kelly in there, but now's not the right time. I mean, the guy missed a throw. He made a lot of nice throws in the game. The throw he made down the middle to Hireman, throw he made on 4th and 11 to Manny Sanders over on the sideline, toe tapper throw. Those were good throws. So Case certainly did a lot of things that we didn't see last year and got us in position to maybe win that game. But when the pressure was on, when the play really needed to be made, he had a wide open receiver with nobody within 5 yards of him, and he just missed the throw. He just flat out missed it. And it's a heartbreaker for Broncos fans to watch that because, in the NFL, you got to expect your NFL quarterback to hit those throws. But all quarterbacks miss throws, and give credit to the Chiefs. Their defensive line got a little bit of pressure on Keenum, got him outside the pocket and throwing off balance. And I think they won the turnover battle, and we didn't get any turnovers against the Chiefs. And when you give a good, high-powered offense like that every single opportunity with the ball, I mean, sooner or later they're going to capitalize. Broncos moved to 2-2. Chiefs moved to 4-0. So they've definitely got a death grip on the AFC West division for now. A lot of things can happen. People get hurt. People go on cold streaks. Anything can happen. So I'm not throwing in the towel right now on the Broncos and just giving the Chiefs the AFC West after week 4. I think they're a good football team. I think they've got a good young quarterback that's going to be around for a long time and going to make some big things happen in Kansas City. But I think that there's a lot for Broncos fans to also be excited and optimistic about. I mean, when you look at the fact that we got 2 rookie running backs, I think they averaged like 7.5 yards a carry last night. I mean, Freeman and Lindsey were gashing the Chiefs defense for big plays, and it's amazing that we only run the ball I think 22 times in the game. Case Keenum didn't have bad stats, but I just felt like we should have pounded the Chiefs more on the ground and run that clock down. I mean, that's kind of common knowledge what you do when you've got a quarterback on the other side that can really put up a lot of points. But for some reason, the Broncos coaching staff didn't see it that way. And we had some incompletions and some short yardage gains that stopped the clock on us and ended up making us punt and giving the ball back to the Chiefs, and they capitalized. I mean, it's tough to come back from a 10-point deficit, and Mile High is loud. It was a charged-up atmosphere last night. And give Mahomes a lot of credit for not only being able to handle the pressure, the crowd noise, getting people in place, and he's an elusive guy. I mean, we had him just one more step, we probably would have sacked him 5 times last night. But the fact is he got that extra step on us, and inevitably that's why they won. So I want to give a shout out to all the Kansas City Chiefs fans, especially the KC Kid 1992. You were really the only one that made a legitimate video last week. I mean, Britt Chief didn't do anything. He wasn't proud enough about his team to come out and even say anything on a video before the game. I know that if my team was 3-0 and I had a quarterback that had thrown 13 touchdown passes, I'm going to come on here and let you hear about it. And so nobody said anything there. And then, of course, Chief Urag, I mean, I'm not gonna bash you up too bad for putting out your video on Sunday, but that was weak sauce, bro. Weak sauce. I mean, you need to get it out earlier so at least people have a time to respond. kind of like, cheap shot from the back, right? Somebody sucker punched you. But shout out to Chief Urag, Casey Kidd 1992, and the Brit Chief. And I think there's a couple of other ones like Chiefs Talk, Chiefs Live, some new guys. I'm not sure if they're really making trash talk videos or not. But they're definitely new video makers for the Chiefs. What else that I want to go over? I think that the Broncos don't have their head coach of the future. I think Vance Joseph's on the hot seat, and eventually he's going to get pushed out of Denver, because I think that that's a type of game last night that when you're up 10 points and you got a team 2nd and 30 from their own end zone, that you like your chances to win that game when I think there was maybe around 9 minutes or something, I can't remember, 6 to 9 minutes left on the clock. And I think if you were a Chiefs fan and you seen that you were 2nd and 30 down 10 points on the road Monday night in Mile High, that things didn't look good. And that was a big play, Mahomes scrambling out of the pocket and buying some time, extending the play, and finding an open receiver. So, look, that offense that the Chiefs have is going to not only win them a lot of games, it's going to keep them in a lot of games when they have some injuries on the defensive side, or they maybe give up a couple of interceptions. And if that defense can hold just enough to stop teams from putting up big points on them, Mahomes is going to win a lot of football games. That being said, I think late in the year, the Chiefs are going to struggle, just like they did last year, because they're going to run up against teams late in the year that have got battle-tested defenses with offenses that can score and that are polished. And the Denver Broncos certainly are not in that category right now. I think that we got to still stick with Case as the quarterback. I mean, big-time players like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, they missed throws too. And Case missed one throw really last night. I mean, he really did, and it was a big one, and it was a costly one, and it was under pressure, and it was for all the chips, and it was to win the game. And if he makes that 120-yard pass, which is a high school pass, it's game over and the Chiefs lose. But that's not the way the story ended, and the Chiefs walk out of Mile High Stadium with a win, and it was a devastating loss. I mean, I stayed in the parking lot and with my friends, just waiting until all the traffic cleared out and the highways cleared up so we could leave. I didn't get home until 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I actually had a horrible day, to tell you the truth. So I woke up and picked everybody up and got up to Denver a little later than I wanted to. Linked up with Sev Cisneros, Savage Sev, and one of his buddies and a couple other Broncos fans. We had a nice tailgate. And I got my drone out, filmed a whole bunch of footage. And then, not paying attention, I hit a telephone line and crashed that sucker right in the middle of the parking lot. $1,500 drone just blown up on me. So then go into the stadium, go to the game. I got all the tickets here in Denver, digital tickets that are on your phone through a Broncos 365 app or Ticketmaster. And my tickets were actually in my app, and I mean, I've bought them this way a million times, so I know exactly what the process is, how it works. I've seen the tickets in my account. And then when I got to the front gate, the tickets weren't in my account. So then I had to walk all the way to the other side of the stadium, show the lady the email that I had, that I accepted the tickets. And, she did a bunch of looking on her computer and said, look, I can see them in your account, and I don't know why they're not showing up on your app or inside your Ticketmaster, but I'm going to go ahead and text these 4 tickets to you. But so I was really worried we weren't even going to be able to get in the dang game. And this is a problem at Mile High Stadium, these digital tickets, because the lines are super long, way longer than they've ever been. I mean, way, way, way longer. And at kickoff, there was probably only 70% of our seats filled because everybody's standing in line trying to get in because people's apps aren't working, tickets were missing, the cellular service isn't that good depending on who you have service with. So that's a definite problem with these all digital tickets. We have no more paper tickets here in Denver. So finally get in the game, of course, lose the game. And then when we get back, it's like 1:30 in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm dropping some buddies off where they've got their cars parked. And the next thing I know, this dog comes out of nowhere, this big dog barking, and he is running full tilt directly right at us like he's mad, like he wants to bite and chew on somebody. And these guys jump in the truck and shut the doors, and I'm standing outside, and there's this truck is one of those Ford Raptors, and it's lifted, it's off the ground, and it's got a ladder rack on top of it, and I have nowhere to go except to jump up on top of this truck. And I mean, I'm almost 50 years old, so jumping up on top of a really high elevated truck is not easy, and it's got a metal bar around it and bashed up my leg and my knee trying to get away from this stupid dog. And then I was so exhausted that I just decided to drive my dad's van that I borrowed home, and I was just going to park it here and go back the next morning today and swap it for my vehicle and clean everything out. And so I drove all the way over to my house, which is on the other side of town from my parents, and realized that I didn't have any keys to even get in my dang house because they're on my keychain at my dad's house. So I had to drive all the way back over town, swap everything, grab the keys, drive all the way back home. By the time I got here, it was 2:30, so there was no time for a crow video, and needless to say, I've definitely slept in this morning to try to catch up on some sleep. But all in all, a lot of bad things happened yesterday, with the dog attack and the crash drone and the Chiefs beating us and Case Keenum not hitting that throw in the 2nd and 30. I mean, it's just kind of a day I want to wash away and never remember. Anyway, shout out, congratulations, Kansas City Chiefs. You guys deserve to win this game. You were definitely the better team last night. I think you're a better team than the Denver Broncos, but I don't think much better. I mean, I think that the Denver Broncos are much improved from last year. I think everybody can clearly see that. We're better at the quarterback position, but we're not where we need to be. We're the type of team that is going to upset some people this year. We're going to win some games that people probably didn't expect us to win, and we're going to lose some games that people probably did expect us to win. And when it's all said and done, I see us being able to win 7 to 9 games. And so just a little bit of an improvement from what we had last year, but I don't think this team's got enough to win this division, and I think the Chiefs will probably run away with it. But crazy things happen in the NFL, and that's why they play the games. And at 2-2, we're definitely not going to throw in the towel. Look, we're not 0-4, we're not 3-1, we're 2-2. We're going to go play a Jets team next week that is not really that strong, but it's on the road, and it's a tough game to win on the East Coast where we don't really do well. We're going to have to win that game because we've got the Rams coming in right after that. And, I mean, Rams are hot just like the Chiefs and a powerful team. So I see this next weekend as a must-win, and Broncos got to get back on track. This is the OG Bronc Nut, 719 West Crow video, shouting out to Kansas City Chiefs fans. Congratulations on your 4-0 record. See you next time.